Hello, everybody, and welcome to season two, episode three of the Synchro Skaters Club. We have a very special guest here today, but first, I'm going to give you the name of the episode, see if that gives you a clue or if you've figured it out from our Instagram already. The title is The Legacy of Harlem Skating, and we have the lovely Vashti Lonsdale with us today.
Hi everyone, how are we?
Thank you for joining us. We're very excited to chat to you. We've already kind of been off through this off camera, but I'm just going to go through a list of really cool things that Vashti has done in her skating career. Her official title is a Oh my goodness, can I speak English? I said it just before.
It's a lot
Choreographer
of
and
words.
creative consultant. There we go.
A lot of C's.
She was a Australian senior level figure skater who has performed and choreographed in ice shows all around the world. And she was the director of skating at Harlem Figure Skating for 7 years, which is incredible, an incredible tenure. And now she is the creative contributor at Harlem Skating and flies back and forth between the USA and Australia, which is amazing. Anything else you'd like to add to that?
No, that's such an intro. I'm so shy now. But yeah, it feels like a journey in itself.
Yeah, absolutely. Um, so for those of you that have been living under a rock in the skating community, I suppose, if you haven't watched it, you need to. There is an incredible, is it a documentary series? Is that what it's
Yeah,
titled?
yeah, docu-series, yeah.
Docuseries that what is the title? Harlem on Ice. That's the official title,
Harlem
right?
Ice. Yeah,
Harlem Ice. Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
So it was released on the 12th of February 2025, so early this year, but it was
Mhm.
filmed the end of 22, beginning 2023. And it follows the incredible organization and the skaters based in Harlem in New York City. I guess is that a
Yeah,
pretty good summary of what it is.
yeah,
And Vashti is a key component of that show, with speaks a lot about her role in the skaters and everything. Um, and you were saying just before, weird to watch yourself back on camera, but a pretty incredible experience.
yeah.
Yeah,
It was
absolutely.
it was unbelievable. I think because it was also coming off the back end of COVID, you
Mm,
kind of forget what occurs until you kind of rewatch it back and you're like, oh yeah, that happened.
true. Yeah,
Because the girls
absolutely.
were in the program for like their school years, there are a lot of girls who've graduated. So seeing
Of
them
course.
skating was like, wow, like
Because they're
so
probably
many of the
killing it in
girls.
other aspects of life
Oh my
now.
God, yeah, they're all
Yeah.
so incredible. Yeah.
Amazing. Alrighty, well, we're going to talk a little bit about you first. So, when and how did you first get into skating?
So I was at the wee age of about 2.5, and my parents were really big on skating. My parents like used to skate just for fun on a Friday night.
Oh, cool.
And they had put on an old video, that's how old I am, of Tobal and Dean's Bolero, because it was just like one of their favorite, and I like as a child
Classic.
obviously like loved it. And so they took me to the rink and I just took to it really quickly and loved it, and it was something that I could share with my parents, and it kind of blossomed from there.
And the rest is history. So,
Yeah.
how long did you have a competitive skating career?
So I started competing pretty young. My history is I'm originally from Hawaii. My parents are Australian. I was
Oh,
adopted at 5 days old and moved to Melbourne. So
oh my
my first
gosh.
experience on the ice was at the Oakley rink, which doesn't exist anymore in Melbourne. And from there, my parents' job took them back to the States. So I started competing in the States in Hawaii from the age of like 4 or 5 in like their version of like skate school.
Yeah.
And then I did all my levels and all of that. So probably a good 15 years of competing, if not more,
Oh, wow,
which is
amazing.
crazy
That's
to
an
like
impressive
think
competitive
about.
career. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And that was predominantly in singles. I did a little bit of ice dance just to like learn the foundations, but I never competed in ice
Yeah.
dance.
But it's
Yeah,
just good backup skills to have, I think ice
yeah.
dance is amazing
Edges.
to, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
And so obviously, as we've said, your focus was solo skating, figure skating, and senior women's. We're a synchro podcast, so we have to ask, did synchro ever
Yes.
intersect with your training at all?
Yeah, so I always loved the idea of sync because I like the idea of not being alone on the
Mm,
ice.
yeah.
Although I didn't like the whole pair skating aspect because I'm a bit like, once you're a single skater, you get quite selfish with your skating. But
Mm,
I always saw the camaraderie in every competition. Like the stands were always packed for synchro. Where
yeah.
singles, it's like three or four people. There's like no ambiance. So like I was always so stoked if our events ever lined up with synchro because I was like, oh my God, there's a crowd. I can kind of like finally
Yeah.
compete around synchro crowd. But then I was at the back end of my skating career and I still kind of wanted to skate, but at the time there was no like theater or there
Mm,
was no like avenue beyond singles.
mm.
And I tried out for Synergy, which is the
Yes, the
Australian former senior team. And I got into a spot and I was doing that alongside like my last kind of year as senior skating. And I just like was hooked. I loved it. It was the most rewarding challenge in skating because you go through like obviously my entire skating career and you think you know how to skate and you think you know kind of what you're doing. And then you get into the dynamic of like multi skaters and it's
yeah,
like I
very
actually don't
different.
know. I don't know shapes. I don't know timing because like synchro, obviously you count a lot.
Mm,
In singles, it's just more like musicality.
yeah.
So all of that was a real big learning curve. But I had a wonderful coach. Shout out Kathy Hammond. She
Yeah, I was gonna
was
say, was it Kathy
also
Hammond? Because I've skated with her daughter. I've skated with
Sabrina.
Raz. Yeah.
Shout out Sabrina. She's a wonderful human being. So Kathy and Sabrina really like mentored me through the singles transition
Mm,
into synchro, and it was just phenomenal. Like we went to Worlds the season after I joined, and that entire experience and being able to like share your skating with 16 other girls was so cool because you felt, I don't know, there's not a big narrative around synchro in skating yet. I
yes,
think when
would
you join
agree.
the
Yeah.
sport, like you either go into sync or you go into singles. There's no like reasoning as to why single skaters are great synchro skaters and why synchro skaters can be great single skaters.
Mm,
So I think bridging that gap for me was such a career highlight. And it's kind of why I kind of kept it in my skating professional life because I was
yeah.
like, although I didn't do it for as long as most of the girls on the
But
team,
you still
I
had those
just felt it.
skills.
Yeah, I just felt I could sense like where it could go as a sport because skating is changing so rapidly.
Mm,
And now with like all the different rules and like TV rights and
hmm.
filling a stadium because cost of living is so crazy. I was like, synchro is going to one day take precedent over singles, just in terms of like demand from audience, because I think it's quite entertaining
With
to
that
see
many
so many
the
people on the
shapes,
night.
it's
Yeah,
the visual sport.
it's it's amazing. So that always kind of stayed with me, and I followed it. I definitely started teaching like the younger levels when I became a coach, and then that kind of fed through to my journey with figure skating in Harlem.
That's so amazing to hear. I guess from our point of view, everyone that we really speak to is synchro, 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 synchro. And I
Yeah.
mean, everyone does have figure skating experience and dance experience and that sort of thing, but perhaps not quite to the same sort of level that you have. So that's really nice to hear that perspective that you think where synchro can go and the growth and the
Oh,
benefits that it
absolutely.
has. And I guess that also would have transitioned into a professional skating career and shows and things like that, working with
Mhm.
and skating with other skaters. Would that be correct?
Absolutely. And it also gives you a different viewpoint when you're doing choreography for multiple people.
Mm,
Because I really struggled at the beginning stages of my career to ever do like little ice shows or whatnot, to choreograph a big group of people who had a like diverse skill level. So synchro skills definitely played in, and you end up doing a lot of synchro elements because they're both performative, but they're safe for skaters that aren't totally confident being by themselves. So
yeah.
I think in many ways, synchro is a very diverse discipline. I just think there's been so much they've harbored this real reputation
Yes.
towards it being something that you do if you don't want to skate
Yeah.
in
Or
singles
if you're not
versus
good
something
enough
you could
for
do.
something like that, eh?
Exactly. And I think that's the wrong kind of narrative because you look at the top teams and most of them are better than a majority of, well, our single skaters. So I don't think that in itself is true. I think it's easy because skating in itself is very political and it has its
Yes.
nuances and whatnot. But I think unless you try it yourself, there is no way you can ever speak on it.
Yeah, can't have an opinion if you've
Exactly.
given it a go.
Hmm.
So then how long were you working in the professional circuit for?
So I dabbled in and out. I was in university at the time because my
Mhm.
parents were like, oh, time for
You
time
do
for
something
uni.
practical.
Exactly. My first ice show actually was when I was 16. I'd found something online and I had to ask one of the showrunners in Australia to be our management to take us because we were underage, obviously. So my first show was in Hong Kong with three other skaters. One of
Wow.
them is actually Matt Johnson. I don't know if you watched The Block.
No, I haven't.
Well, one of the stars of The Block, he was with us. He's a skater, former
Ah,
skater.
no way.
Um, so we went to Hong Kong, and that was the first kind of exposure I had to performance skating outside of like your Christmas shows at home.
Yeah.
And then probably 4 or 5 years, I produced shows in Sydney at the open air rink. So
Oh,
there's
wow.
like winter, I don't know if you know Winter Festival.
Yeah, yeah, I've heard
Um,
of it.
we produced an ice show on the beach at Bondi, and it was the
When was that?
craziest thing. Oh, this would have been like 2010, maybe 2011.
I was like 10, 11 at that point, but I remember seeing
Yeah.
it on the news or something like that. The
Yeah,
rink
because
at
it
Bondi.
was like it was crazy because it was like a Guinness World Record because
Mm,
no one at the time had ever had an ice rink adjacent to a beach.
no, seems a
Mind
bit.
you, I don't know if they do it again because, as you know, sand is glass, and when you put it on the ice, like I just skated for my dear life
Just
because
skating
there's
through
so many times
glass.
we had no grip, and you're just like, oh my God, don't fall in, don't fall
Slip and
off,
slide,
stack it, don't,
even
and an
more so.
audience member. It was crazy, but that was a really great experience because I'd not done the smaller scale events like that.
Mm,
And just choreographing them and getting the skating community involved was really cool. And then I did Andre Rieu tour, which was probably late.
wow.
That was 2008 actually, and we did all of Australia,
Oh,
and we did it on fake ice,
wow.
and they dressed us up in like these ball gowns, and we skated to him playing the violin. It was a
Beautiful.
very cool experience because now I teach alongside of everyone that went on the tour with me. So we all kind of have that common memory, which is
Yeah,
cool.
which is
Yeah.
beautiful.
Yeah.
Then obviously we move on to you becoming more of a full-time coaching, or is this
Yeah.
part-time full-time
Yeah. Now
coach?
I am. Yeah. Yeah. So I took a hiatus when I was in college, just like I just needed a breather from
Yeah.
skating. And then I kind of slowly, if anyone asks about, I call them civilians, like anyone who doesn't skate, I'm like,
Civilian.
you don't
That's such
get
a good
this,
name.
right? You are a civilian because you don't get the obsessiveness and addiction that we all have with
Yeah.
skating. Like if you love it, you love it, you eat, breathe it. So I needed a break. So I took a little bit of time off and then I started coaching at Macquarie Ice Rink because I was going to Macquarie University at the time.
Oh, okay.
And it was just, I fell in love with choreography just because I always liked that side of skating, the artistry, the musicality more so than the technical. And I saw a real niche because not a lot of coaches really, when you're a head coach, have the time or capacity to do everything, especially
Mm,
in this day and age with all the requirements of skating.
mm.
So I started coaching in Macquarie and that kind of grew. And then I ended up going to New York because I'd seen this program, figure skating in Harlem, and it really spoke to me because I had always grown up in skating being the only brown girl or
Yeah.
person of color,
It's
like
in Australia especially, I bet. Yeah.
especially in Australia. And that just like it's interest. It's like, most people of color prefer like track and field, basketball. Like it's just a socioeconomic and
Mm.
demographic
Yeah,
um,
absolutely.
kind of construct. So to see a whole group of girls that are learning how to skate in New York with a program that was so positive,
Hmm.
I was like, I need to be a part of that. So once I'd finished university, I went over to volunteer. I was only going to do it for the season because I fell in love with New York when I'd gone there previously and was like,
I
I
need
need
to
to be
stay.
there. And then
So
I
did
ended up
you
staying
contact
there.
them? You were just like, hey, I'd love to come work with you and help out.
Yeah, so I had been in contact with the founder since I was probably in my late teens, just to see what opportunities would come from it, what their
Hmm.
organization was about. I was
Yeah.
just interested. And then I contacted them, and the director of skating at the time put me on a FaceTime call and interviewed me and said she'd love to have a woman of color who's also a coach to
Mm.
come in and work with the girls because again, there's so few women of color who are coaches in skating that can teach then young
Yeah.
women. It
And I
just is
guess
like a
and
real
then
testament.
not only from Australia, but also even in America, like there's
Yeah,
the
because the
same thing, few
cohort
and far
is
between.
very, it's not as diverse as people would assume just because it's
No.
America.
Yeah.
So I went over, and of course, like you can't help but fall in love with the mission, the program, the girls, because it takes all the best parts of skating
Mm.
and puts it in one little bucket versus the stresses of skating, like
Yeah.
the one-on-one, the judgment, the vulnerability, because you're still in a very big team environment. Um, yeah,
Which is
my God,
incredible.
this feels so like biographical. I'm like
It's
years
all coming back to you
into
now.
it, right?
But then obviously it's stuck and you've been with Harlem for
Yeah.
forever, I'm sure it feels like now.
It was wild. It was never meant to be what it has become, but I think it was always supposed to
Yeah.
because I fell in love with the city. I never had to stress about visa because I was born in the States.
Oh,
So
of
I had
course.
dual
So you've got dual
citizenship. So
citizenship.
yeah. So I didn't have the stresses that came with that.
Mm,
And every season I was just like, I need to go back because
it's
their season
calling.
is, yeah, it generally goes from the end of September to the end of March, just because of ice access. Because there's only one indoor rink in Manhattan proper. The
Mm,
rest of the rinks are outdoor.
outdoor.
So they only open during the winter season. So the Ice Excel program is only running throughout that winter season. So I would stay in the winter, I'd come back here in the winter, I'd
Gotcha.
go back in the winter.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, I was wondering that because I don't think that part was particularly clear in the show about how that operates. So that's
Yeah.
very interesting.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like outdoor rinks are just a
It's
different.
just the thing, especially in the US and Canada, right? They just
You have to
open
deal with like
every
weird
winter.
things like leaves on the ice blowing, wind. Like when
All
it
the
starts to get
elements.
snowy and it's windy, I'm like, oh my God,
So
it's
the
crazy.
main rink in Harlem, that's outdoor, but it has a cover.
Yeah, that's Riverbank State Park. So that's up on 145th and Riverbank Drive, which is like the top end of Manhattan.
Okay.
And it's just on the edge before all the bridges to like New Jersey and whatnot. But then we also have programming in Woolman Ice Rink, which is down near the Plaza Hotel, which is the popular, the Central Park ice rink that everyone kind of knows
The
from
Christmas
Home
one.
Alone. Yeah. But then there's another rink that's recently reopened that's in Harlem that's outdoors. That is a swimming pool in the summer and a ice
Oh,
rink in the winter. And that's at Alaska, and that's on 110th Street.
oh my
So
goodness.
there's we kind of rotate through the three, and
Between
then off season we're at the World Ice Arena or Chelsea Piers because they're the ones that are indoor.
mm, able to use all year round. Makes
Yeah,
sense.
yeah,
And before we keep going, then I'm just gonna talk a little bit about figure skating in Harlem, the mission,
sure.
the vision, how it was founded, and everything. So, it was founded by Sharon Cohen
Yeah.
in the early 90s and was officially incorporated in 1997.
Hmm.
It's a not-for-profit bringing skating to skaters of color in Harlem, and empowerment through holistic youth development with a focus on communities that are affected by generational poverty is the basis of what it was founded
Yeah,
on, I believe.
yeah.
So Sharon Cohen sounds like an incredible woman, seeing that gap in
She is
the
such a boss.
market or the
Yeah,
community.
she's a former skater herself,
Hmm.
and she's just phenomenal human.
And she's just built it from the ground up. Obviously, she's got a big team around her, but she
Yeah, well, it
is
was
still
mainly
a
her and her friend who decided to kind of like start teaching young women of color because they saw a need for it.
Yeah.
Miss Bernice is her name. And Sharon and Miss Bernice were the real like pioneers of group skating and group classes in the Harlem rinks.
Hmm.
And they used to walk the kids from either the bus or the train
Oh my
to the ice
goodness.
rink and teach them and then walk them home where their parents would pick them up. Like they would ask for donations for all of their ice skates. And
Yeah.
it just kind of blossomed and blossomed and blossomed. And now it's, Emmy nominated series on Disney. Like
An amazing, yeah, an
she's
organization
just,
that in theory is almost known like worldwide, you'd hope now if it was on Disney Plus. Like, I
yeah.
mean,
And it's
I'm in New
the
Zealand,
only
the
one.
UK.
That's what blows my mind is that there is not more of.
Hmm.
There's there's definitely like Diversify on Ice and um Black and Brown Body on Ice. So there are organizations, but not a lot that are just for girls
Yes.
and girls of color in a way that we house education as well. So the girls don't
Yes.
just skate, they also have tutoring after school, like tutoring and homework. They also have like college prep because colleges in America are very competitive and
Mhm.
it's a very long-winded and convoluted process. So it houses a lot of different things that are so important for the community. And I hope it inspires other people to do the same.
Yeah. Oh, I think it's incredible. And obviously the fact that it's so focused on created well-rounded young woman
Yeah,
as well, not just the
absolutely.
skating side of it. That's just amazing. So leading on to that, I'll just read out the mission and the vision of figure skating in Harlem. So the mission is figure skating in Harlem helps girls transform their lives and grow in confidence, leadership, and academic achievement. We are the only organization in the world for girls of color that combines the power of education with access to the artistic discipline of figure skating to build champions in life. So exactly what Vashti you've just said. Beautiful, well-rounded people. And
Yeah.
then the vision to empower every young girl with the skills and foundation to achieve her dreams. She will be a powerful speaker, an effective leader, live a healthy and financially independent lifestyle, and be a global citizen. We aim to bring the benefits of our model program to even more children by creating chapters in other communities. Gives you kind of chills just reading this, and especially like having watched the show and knowing,
Yeah.
I guess not knowing, but seeing firsthand the impact that it does have on, because it's one thing reading it. You can read a
Yeah.
website or see the Instagram, but having a show like that that actually tells you the impact and has the stories of all the young skaters on there and how it has
Yeah.
impacted their lives, I think that is where it has really been able to hit home with, I guess, the world.
I think it was really great. And the team behind it, Imagine Documentaries and the producers were really thoughtful in how they came into the program, albeit chaotic because we do have 200 girls and 40 staff and you're in Manhattan, so it's not always the easiest thing
Just
to
straight
film.
chaos.
They captured the girls so beautifully. The cinematography was so great. Our cameraman at the time was like learning how to hockey skate so he could be on the ice with the girls
No
skating.
way.
um, they became very much a part of the everyday because they genuinely cared about the girls' stories. So I
Mm,
think you can always, film things and showcase it, but unless there's a level of care, I don't think that really translates as well as it has with this show. And clearly it's been received really well, so it's a great
yeah,
thing.
absolutely. Um, so obviously, I know I mentioned it a little bit earlier. The documentary was released February 12th,
Mhm.
2025, but filmed early or end of 22, beginning of 2023. And again, if you haven't watched it and you're listening, you're being stupid and you need to go watch it right now because it's fantastic. And it's great for not only the skating, well, not only for the girls in the community that Harlem skating has, but it's great for the wider well, skating community in general, just giving that
Yeah.
exposure to the sport and showing what the rest of the skating community can do to be more inclusive, I think, as well, and encourage everyone to participate. The description on Disney Plus is that Harlem Ice is a five-part documentary series following the girls of figure skating in Harlem as they prepare for competitions, performances, and a life-changing global experience, which was the South Africa Exchange. Spoiler alert
Yeah,
if you haven't watched the show.
yeah.
Through their eyes, we experience the highs and lows of the figure skating Harlem season and the unique experiences they have as girls of color, breaking the ice ceiling and gaining access to the global stage. Again, amazing. So you've already kind of talked about how the documentary came to be, but what were your first thoughts when you got the call out, hey, we're gonna be filming you. We're gonna be filming you and the
Well,
girls.
oddly enough, in the probably the past 10 years, figure skating in Harlem tends to have a lot of media attention either in an Olympic year or
Mm,
around the holidays, just because it's very good content for media outlets. So
hmm
we're very used to having cameras
hmm
and having media around. So when you hear things like that, at first I was just like, okay, so they're coming to do like a segment or something because we've had like sound bites on Good Morning America, the Kelly Clarkson show. Like there's a constant just because of New York in itself, and
Yeah,
it's a really great way for us to fundraise because it is
of
nonprofit.
course.
It's a good way for the public to know we exist. Um, but then we got the film schedule, and because we work around a very set gaining schedule, because ice time is precious,
Hmm
and we also have three synchro teams, competitive synchro teams that have comps
hmm
throughout the year.
Yeah.
And then we have an ice show, and then we also run the Learn to Skate program. At first, I was panicked because I was like, how are we going to do all of this and maintain the programmatic side and deliver that?
Yeah.
But as always, we figure it out, we make it work, and all the coaches and staff are phenomenal. And it just ended up being a really genuine part of the figure skating in Harlem kind of legacy because most of the producers were women of color. So
Amazing.
having them come in made us feel a lot more comfortable and
Yeah, I
made the
can.
girls feel comfortable because they didn't feel like, fishbowl effect.
Hmm
They weren't put in an environment just to be seen. They were actually heard and
Mm,
like encouraged. So, albeit intrusive, because any kind of camera in your face, mic'd constantly can be intrusive, ultimately it had a really great impact.
yeah.
Although being mic'd up is a new level of anxiety that I didn't realize I had. Because as a coach, like I go into coach mode and sometimes you have to be tough.
Yeah.
Like if the kids are acting out, I'm just like, girl, what are you
hmm
doing?
Yep.
But then you realize like I'm yelling and I have a mic and they're like,
They're gonna
you
get
know,
this on camera.
turn your mic down. I'm like, if I go off to like cuss or something when I don't want the kids to hear me, I like have to hold the mic or like
Yeah.
weird things like if you want to go to the bathroom, you have to register that someone can hear you because you're
Oh my God, of
constantly mic'd up.
course.
So I kind of now look at these shows very differently. I'm like, I kind of get why it becomes so kind of intrusive because you forget that you're mic'd up, you forget the camera's there.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And when it comes to the schedule, as you said, they scheduled filming around the normal timetable, or did I mean they would have had you come in
Um,
differently for the interviews and stuff, but
Well, they definitely like highlighted certain girls within the program
yeah.
and followed them a little bit more intimately through their home and school life, just
hmm
for backstory and to show, I don't know, the greater picture as to
Yeah,
what
absolutely.
girl in the program goes through. But yeah, so our schedule is generally like we're there every day. The sessions are staggered between the age groups of the girls. So the younger girls are there certain days of the week, the older girls are there other days of the week, and then tack on the synchro at the back end because they have their own session without it being part of like the Learn to Skate program.
Yeah, gotcha.
And it's all after school and some Saturday mornings where we had ice at Chelsea.
Yeah, so they're just making it work with
They
the
made it work.
the schedule that you've got.
Yeah.
You've already mentioned obviously the different types of training that the skaters have. So they've got the Learn to Skate program, then the more like focused figure skating. part of
Yeah.
it and then the synchro side of it. Um, how many would girls would you have in each part of the program, or do they go across all of the activities?
Total cohort kind of shifts year to year. The most we've had is up to 200 or more girls.
Mm,
And so that's spread out between grades 1 to 12.
hmm.
So it's the entire like school age. And beyond that, you would have maybe 10 to 12 in a class.
Okay.
And then they're staggered, and there's maybe 6 or 7 classes on at a time,
Yeah.
maybe less, maybe more. With the little ones, it's usually a coach, assistant coach, and a volunteer on the classes. We have a lot of great volunteers that
So
come
that,
in
I
and
mean, I know
float.
you said you had a lot of staff, but that's a shitload of coaches.
It is because when you have, like, think about it, like the average skate school program would have that many kids, but not all there throughout the week on rotation. So we also don't have kids at like the senior skating level that need less supervision. So we need to have more supervision during the classes because the kids are at a lower level
Yeah.
and they just require a little bit more tutelage than the skaters, say, who are at the novice level or beyond learn skate.
Yeah, I'm definitely
Yeah.
digressing a bit away from some of my questions, but do you have lots of the skaters that have been through the program come back and coach themselves and volunteer,
Yeah, well, as
or as the show showed? Yeah.
highlighted, yeah, there's Ela. There
Hmm.
was Elia, who is a phenomenal skater, and she's a dancer. We have Kelsey, who went through the program the same time as Ela, who's now the like synchro manager. She handles all the management of the synchro teams.
Yeah.
So the alum are really involved. It's so cool to see because sometimes in skating, and I'll be controversial.
Oh no, go for it.
Skating can really mess with your head,
Oh
and you
yes.
end up wanting to, like, whether you leave for your own personal reasons or injury or circumstances, sometimes you leave the sport with a bad taste in your mouth
Mm-hmm.
because notoriously skating is really difficult to navigate because of the
So it isolates you
vulnerability.
from real life, hey?
Yeah, it's
Mm.
not a normal environment. You're on the ice, basically in your underwear, with knives on your feet. You're freezing, and you have to perform for people you've never met who are old and don't really smile back at you.
And
And there's
judging you.
music involved, and then your worth is kind of graded with
Mm-hmm.
scores, so you don't want to really go through that again.
Nope.
So the reason why the program works in that capacity is that, albeit not as competitive as some of the USFS figure skating programs where they go to the international events as single skaters, the skaters we have always want to be skaters forever. Like they want to skate. That's just what they love to do. It's not about what PCS mark they got at the last comp or what judge didn't like them for whatever reason. Like it's a genuine love. So we definitely have majority of our skaters be involved in skating in some capacity. We had Cheyenne Walker and Ariel Clark. They kind of steamrolled the first HSBCU, which is a predominantly diverse university stream in America where the colleges are historically black. And they kind of steamrolled the very first ice skating club within the
Oh wow.
college. And being alum, they took the skills and everything from figure
From
skating in Harlem
what you guys
and
taught them.
yeah, and fed it through. And they kind of changed the game because that's not been done before. So I think the program has a lot of legacy and it's nice to see. It's just nice because skating again can be really tough.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's so lovely to hear again, like just fostering that positive environment. Because as you
Exactly.
say, there's so many people that can leave it traumatized. And even in synchro, still, I mean, I
Yeah,
guess being in the team environment, it's is different. You have the love for your teammates as well, but you can still have that bit of anxiety about the sport
pressure
itself. And
and
yeah, and
fear of
just
failure and letting
come to
people
hate
down.
it.
And
Yeah,
yeah,
there's coaches that have definitely moved past that and are doing amazing things, but I know for a fact there are some coaches still out there not doing that. So
yeah.
having that sort of environment is absolutely incredible.
I think
Um,
that's why Harlem Ice kind of was a little bit refreshing, like even because of, like, unbiased if I'm not involved. A
as you
lot
should
of
be.
the media surrounding skating is really negative.
Mm-hmm.
It's always scandal ridden, it's
Mm-hmm.
always debauchery and salacious. And so to have something positive was really nice
Yeah.
to be a part of and to see.
Yeah, absolutely. Obviously I'm gonna have to talk a little bit more about the synchro.
Yeah, of
So you
course.
say you have the club has three teams?
Yeah, we have four teams
Four
now.
teams. Oh
So we
wow.
have Aspire teams, which is our equivalent to Learn to Skate.
Yeah.
So they're in like the beginning stages, and that's like our development. And then we have a preliminary team and a juvenile team, open juvenile team.
Amazing.
So our prelim and open juve team are our teams that we are really trying to direct to get to sectionals, which is like the equivalent of our state championships.
Yeah.
It's just in America, it's so big that
That's
they
just too many to
literally
keep track
section
of.
it off. Yeah. And certain states compete for certain areas of each kind of area, and then
Yes,
they all come together.
to get to the big one.
Yeah.
And then obviously that involves a fair amount of traveling for the skaters, and that's all part of the club because it's non-profit. That's all funded by the club
Yeah.
and all its
Yeah.
supporters.
So every year we have a budget for whatever the girls need from the competitive back end, and then they kind of choose what comps they want to go to. Most of them are in like the East Coast
Hmm.
because just logistically going anywhere else is a mess.
Yeah,
But there's also not a ton of comps for synchro in general.
yeah,
There isn't
compared to
anywhere
figure.
near as many, and they're always at the back end of the season because you wait for rules to come out
Mm,
and it just there's like a really small window. I'm sure you understand what
to
it's
make
like
it work,
to be
yeah.
like looking at clock going,
We
when are
don't
the
have
rules
enough
going to come
time.
out? Exactly. So they do about two or three in like the Manhattan area and like Mount Vernon, tri-state, and then they'll go to like Connecticut, Pennsylvania for Hershey. Hershey's a really big comp
Mm,
because it has like a lot of the teams that come from all different parts of the East Coast, but that's all funded through really like fundraising.
yeah, which is incredible.
Yeah.
And it's something that Afton and I have planned to talk about down the track. But definitely the barriers of skating is the expense and
Oh
being
my
able to
gosh.
attend those competitions and things like that.
Of course.
You, people just can't afford it.
It's
It's
like
a privileged
equestrian.
sport. Yeah.
It's such a elitist sport
Yeah,
because of the
absolutely. So
costs and
having
that.
the organization be able to
Exactly.
encourage the girls to participate and then not feel like they're not able to do it fully or left out from competitions, that is incredible. Committing to
I think,
full
and again, I
competition.
don't get why. I think most skating clubs should have a similar program.
Hmm.
And it be like, regardless of race, religion, gender, I think there should be a scholarship program at every club
To make it
that
accessible.
helps these kids who are talented, who really love it, who are there. Obviously, there should be like deliverables for whatever
Yeah, of course.
they're going to be provided, but I just don't understand why every club doesn't offer that because
Mm,
there's so like it's a very like
yeah.
$1,000 or more for
Oh,
skates. It's
it's
crazy.
crazy. That's, I
Yeah.
mean, us getting into a deeper conversation, but I feel like that's absolutely something that ISU is struggling with because they want to promote the sport and make it bigger. And it's the same with Synchro. We want to make it bigger. We want more people involved, but it's acknowledging these barriers. And I feel like the people at the top aren't always acknowledging the barriers to getting into the sport. So,
Yeah, because the people at the top aren't on the ground seeing what
no.
the people that are actually feeding funding up
Hmm. And
do on the day to day.
and where it can go and what we need. So,
Exactly.
it's it's a whole nother we could spend hours talking
It's
about
a
that.
rabbit hole. Skating is such a rabbit hole.
Oh, yes, it is. Okay, let's veer back towards the skaters' reaction to the TV show. Obviously, you talked a bit about how weird it was for them to have the cameras and to be some of them mic'd up and be interviewed themselves. Do you think, I mean, I'm sure they would have, but overall, you think they enjoyed it?
Oh, absolutely. And I think they didn't recognize how big it would be
Hmm.
as it's happening. Because, like I said, there's so much media that comes through the program. that the girls are somewhat desensitized to having people come and film them. But this was a far more intimate, intrusive kind of project. But then I think when we went to the premiere to have all the girls watch, I think they registered their
How
impact.
big?
And there are like Tori, who's one of the girls that are highlighted. Tori and her sister Ashley, like it was so nice to see their dynamic because we experience it all the time. They're just
Hmm.
funny kids. They like they run amok, but they're also siblings. So they have their own dynamic and like to have that shown is so cool because they'll look back, be like, well, this was a really cool experience I had with my sister at this point in
Mm,
our lives that we kind of get to show our kids forever.
absolutely.
So I think all in all, the girls really loved it and benefited from it. And I really hope they take that experience and kind of leverage it to whatever they decide to do in their professional careers.
Yeah, absolutely. So all of them got to attend the premiere. Everyone got dressed up and got to watch it for the
Yeah,
first time.
well, our entire organization, so not just the girls that are featured in the series, we
Everyone.
invited the entire community because Harlem is it's a strong but small skating community. So they all came to the Apollo Theater and we sat and we had all the producers come on and thank, and then they all came and clapped, and it was cool. It was really cool. And then they premiered two of the five episodes.
Okay, yeah, I was gonna say there's a lot of
Yeah.
hours to sit through if
Yeah,
you're
no, no,
watching
no,
the whole
no.
thing.
It was, yeah, no, no, no. I think it's more than five, actually.
And do you think they all then went home and watched it all,
I think so.
if they were
I
able
don't
to?
know. Like, it's a real generational gap. I don't think they have the, like, focus to sit and watch
Attention
something
spans.
exactly for that long. I think they're probably like fast forward bits that they don't find interesting
Boring,
because
yeah.
they've lived it and whatnot, but I'm sure they go back and watch themselves. But they're definitely like the 30-second generation. Like, if you can captivate them in 30 seconds, you've done a really good job.
That's what you've
Any
got.
longer, you see them glaze over and you're like, I lost you. I
Like, oh
lost
yeah,
you.
I watched it. I couldn't tell you what happened, but I know I was in it.
Yeah, yeah. As they get older, I think they'll look back and reflect a bit more.
That's amazing. Um, how many of them from, well, the girls that were featured in the show, I mean, obviously most of them graduated and that sort of thing. So are any of them still with Harlem or have they all moved
Yeah,
on?
so Ashley graduated, Ariana graduated, Adriana is, I think she'd be grade 11, so she's still in the program, and Tori's graduating oh my gosh, I can't believe she's graduating. Yeah, she's graduating this season.
So you get to see them from baby all the way up to.
Oh, I'm gonna cry. Yeah.
How many girls skaters do you think you have worked with yourself? Like if you could, all the years, must be
Oh
hundred, if not nearly
gosh.
thousands,
It'd be in the hundreds because, yeah, maybe not in the hundreds of graduating,
but
because we
just
have probably like 10 a season that graduate through
yeah,
our program. But yeah, yeah,
hundreds of
yeah,
girls that
yeah.
have been touched by the program. That's incredible. Um, we're getting towards, I guess, the end of my questions. Um, how, I mean, obviously people have watched the show, they've seen the amazing work that the club does, and aside from supporting on social media and stuff like that, is there any way that listeners or people can actually support Harlem directly, like donations or
Yeah,
things like that?
through their website, they also have like a lot of merchandise. If people are interested in like jackets and stuff,
Wearing
that's a
the
really great
merch.
way to um, support any kind of engagement on social media, obviously watching the show on Disney Plus
Hmm.
and donating through the website figskatingharlem.org and just supporting the girls, watching their stories,
Just being there for them.
sharing something with someone who doesn't know skating, encouraging them to
Yeah.
either watch the show or even go skate, like, or someone that maybe doesn't look like you or doesn't look like your sample skater,
Hmm.
kind of encouraging them and showcasing the show so that people feel a bit more included.
Hmm. making
Yeah.
it a more comfortable environment.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Looking back towards you a little bit now, what has your year looked like with Harlem skating
Mm. Oh,
this year particular?
this year's been a whirlwind because, well, I was there in January,
Hmm.
and then the movie premiered in January. Then, sorry, not the
Of
movie, the
course.
docuseries premiered in January. Then it was released publicly in February. We
Hmm.
had our ice show in March, and then they had their Summer Dreams, which is their summer skating program. I was here doing choreography for my domestic skaters, and then their season starts. Well, this we're in the middle of their season now. I'm going over the end of Feb this year.
Hmm.
Um, it's been a whirlwind. It doesn't seem like it's been a year. Like I can't believe it's Christmas. Feels crazy. It's a time loop that I'm not aware of. But I think it's been massive for the program. This season, we're hopefully going to be a bit more chill. They'll be less intense. I think the girls really need just a bit more skating skill focused season where we're building skills because we are getting more and more synchro teams each season because the girls are getting interested in that area.
Hmm.
And so that requires a lot of testing, a lot
Yeah,
of moves in the field, and that in itself is a
it's a
beast.
lot.
So I think synchro will be at the forefront of this upcoming season, getting the girls through their levels. And Emmys, the end of September.
I was gonna say, do you get to go?
I don't know. I
Th-
hope so.
That would be
We haven't had
amazing.
those conversations, but I feel like the team is so big on the back end that have
Mm.
made this happen that, of course, they would be the ones to go and be celebrated. But I would also rather the girls go if they could, because I think that would be amazing.
Yeah, for
Like,
them that opportunity.
yeah, but I would also like to go.
Just sneakily, if you could if I could go, that'd be great. I think
Just
did I say it
try.
off camera or on camera that had been nominated for an award? I can't remember
I'm
if I
not
did it.
sure.
I didn't. Well, if I didn't say it at the start, we've been talking about it, but the documentary series was nominated for what is it called? Children's and Family Emmy
Yeah, it was
Award,
nominated for Emmy Award in the Children's and Family category for Outstanding Educational Program,
which is amazing. So that's why we're
which
talking
is
about the Emmys,
crazy.
if I didn't mention
Yeah.
that earlier, and how amazing it would be if Vashti and the girls got to go.
Yes, it would be crazy.
Oh my
But now I
gosh.
have to watch all our like other category members to see
Yes.
where we will sit because I am very competitive. Of course, I want us to win.
I mean, we're skaters. Of course, we've got to be
I
competitive.
know that's just in my blood, but I think that in itself will, because again, unpopular opinion. Sometimes with media and whatnot, there's like the 15 minutes of fame theory
Mm,
where something comes out, it's great, you get a lot of press behind it, and then the next news cycle comes and
and
people
it's
forget
gone.
and it
Yeah.
comes out. So I feel like having this nomination is like a second wave for
Mm,
the series in itself. So I really hope that regardless of the outcome of the Emmys, that the press from this will ignite extra people to come and watch the show and be interested in the program and share their interest or donate or follow the program. So
yeah.
regardless, it's such a great
It's a
outcome
good
for the
thing.
girls. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Um, I'm diverting again, but do you know anything about the other nominees
I
in the
do know
category?
that there's two that are nature based. So one's
Okay.
from Nat Geographic, and there's one that's looking at the timeline of birds, I believe.
Oh,
And there's
come on,
another
guys.
one.
Skating's got to win over birds.
You never know though. I'm like, if it's got any of the Irwins in it, we're up for a challenge.
Yeah, true.
They're kind of iconic. Um, And then I don't know, I'm not really well versed enough to comment on the others. Um, but there's no, four in our category. So
Yeah.
we'll see.
Well,
I
that's good
think ours
odds.
is the most interesting and I think
Yeah.
it's the most inspiring. And I do believe that a lot of people, regardless if you're into skating, enjoy it and will learn something. So I
Could
hope that
resonate
is
with it.
reflected. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I think you're gonna win. I'm all here for
Thank
it.
you.
I'm
Put
here
it in
for
the
it.
ether.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, you're gonna be on the
Manifest,
stage.
manifest, manifest.
Manifest. It's ready
Yeah.
on the vision board. Good to go.
Yeah.
Um, back to your coaching and whatnot a little bit. So you were the creative director of Harlem, but now you're the creative contributor. How have you found that transition? So are you less involved or
I'm
just
definitely less involved. I couldn't juggle the two with time difference
yeah,
and the back and forth of flying
takes its
because
toll.
once COVID kind of hit, I had to make a choice, and America's a bit wily coyote at the moment. So I just wanted to keep my roots in Australia,
Yeah,
and I have such great students here that I feel I didn't want to neglect them by being away so often. So
because
I
you're Brisbane
definitely,
based now. Yes.
yeah,
Yeah.
I'm at Ice World at Brisbane,
Yeah. Good old
Brunel and
Boondle.
Kitchener.
Yeah.
Good old Boone. Having our nationals next week, which will be
Yes, exciting.
full on. Yeah.
You have lots of skaters competing.
Um, I've worked alongside one of the senior synchro teams. I
Oh
did a little
yeah.
bit of I kind of fluffed their programs.
Who,
Their
which
programs get
team
set.
with Storm?
Um, yeah,
The senior? Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh,
yeah, yeah,
cool.
yeah. The Acacia Ridge team.
Yeah. Oh, that's
Yeah,
sick.
so I didn't do their programs this season, but I definitely adore them and I'm excited to see how they go.
Yeah, absolutely. We're hanging
Some
out for
of
those
my
results.
skaters are on that team, my single skaters,
Yep.
who, so Jade and Lachlan and Charlton, they all skate senior solo dance and senior singles. So they do both, which I think is fantastic.
Juggling act.
Um, yeah, so they'll be in nationals. I've got about five or six competing singles,
Nice.
so be
So you got
cool.
a fair few to keep an eye out for.
Stress, you know the stress of comps.
Yeah. I think that kind of brings us towards the end of everything. I did have one other. I don't know if you'll be able to spill the beans or if it would ever happen. Would there be a season two of the show?
I won't say no. We don't we
You
don't know. It can only
Yeah.
manifest.
Yeah.
I think if all the powers combine and everything aligns,
Then
I
maybe.
think it's I think it would definitely be a possibility
Yeah,
because I think there's so much content.
absolutely.
So that's up to Imagine and Disney.
Harlem's not saying no, Vashti's not saying no. So Disney,
Disney,
we're calling on you.
yeah.
To finish every episode, we do our quick fire questions. So
Yeah.
it's six skating related questions that
Oh Lord, here we go.
you just give us what you've got. So I'm
All
gonna
right.
start. Do you prefer the short or the free program?
Free.
Free? Why?
More room to you have more opportunity to make things happen.
Yeah,
Short program just feels so stressful because it's like
just
you
a
have
lot
to
to
do
get
this
done.
or you're a done pickle. So
Yeah,
free program a bit more
absolutely.
freedom.
Favorite element can be figure, synchro, dance, whatever.
Spread eagles.
Oh, I don't know if we've had
Yeah,
anyone say that yet.
yeah. I
Nice.
just find them like so effective. I think done well, they can be really captivating. They're really hard to do in
Yeah.
general. I think they're like a difficult element that is made to look really easy if done well.
Yes.
Yeah,
But they are
it's just
hard.
pretty.
And if you don't
Yeah,
have the hips for it, they ain't gonna pop out.
no deal.
Spin or jump?
Spin.
Spin. Any type of
Yes.
spin?
I love flying camels.
Oh yeah,
I'm a
nice.
camel girly.
Nice. Love it.
Sits are not my jam, camels. I always find a skater is either a sit or a camel
Yeah,
skater.
one's really good and one's not so
Yeah,
good.
yeah.
A favorite turn?
Oh, probably I'll say counter.
Yeah. Inside or
Yeah.
outside?
Forward inside if I'm being fancy.
Ooh,
Yeah.
nice. I hate forward inside, so
Most people do. I think that's why I like them because they look difficult. They look kind of cool and tricky. Where counters can be done and they look like a dodgy three turn sometimes.
Yes, I've done a few of those in my time. Um, a favorite piece that you have choreographed?
Oh gosh, there's been some hit and misses, I'm not gonna lie. Um, Actually, this is very random.
No, go for it.
I entered a choreo competition through the American Ice Theater in 2021, 2022. And each week we had a challenge that we were given, and then it was rated. And the challenge was to do kind of an ensemble that used shapes.
Mhm.
And I made up a program about the New York subway. And if you go on my figurographer page, it was just really cool because I had like my friends and skaters kind of skating like they were on the train, and then the train get bumps, and then they're
Ah,
kind of like trying to figure out what to do. So I really like that because it made me think a lot deeper about choreography. Because when you get kind of sucked into like the competitive choreo,
it comes a bit
you have a
standard, hey?
template, like I have to do
Yeah,
element this, this, this. But this made me think about like themes and shapes and different ways to portray a story. So I
yeah.
think that would be one of my favorite.
Can I link that when we're
Yeah,
finished? I
sure,
will
sure,
link
sure,
that
sure,
on
sure.
there so
Yeah.
anyone that wants to have a browse can have a look.
Yes.
That sounds amazing
Yes.
though. I will now go and have a look at that too.
Yeah.
Oh, did you win? Did you
I did not win. No,
oh,
I know.
did you get
But
good feedback?
I got great feedback because we had like celebrity judges give you feedback. So like Adam Rippon gave
Oh,
me feedback, Kurt
oh,
Browning, Audrey Weisiger.
all the big
Um,
names.
it was very daunting, but it was the greatest challenge. And Paulina, who won, she was phenomenal.
So she,
Absolutely phenomenal.
what was
Like
hers?
everyone in the program was phenomenal. Well, we had like multiple, so every week we all had to do this
Oh, do something
challenge.
different. I see what you're
Yeah.
saying. That's
But
that's
we were all
amazing.
given also a celebrity skater to choreograph for. So some had Mariah Nagasu, some had May from France, or Jeremy Abbott. So it was just
Wow.
cool.
When
Yeah,
was this?
American Nice Theatre. This was the end of 2021, so it was just after COVID.
Oh,
Yeah.
sick. I follow American Ice Theater, but have
Shout
not
out
heard of that
Kevin
before.
Slane and
So,
Garrett. They're great. Yeah.
oh, stunning. Their skating's amazing.
Yeah.
Envious. Okay, distracted again. What is the favorite program you have ever watched? Skating program you've ever watched?
Oh,
It's too many, I know, but if you had to pick one or two.
um, Canadian ice dancers,
Hmm.
Beijing, Moulin Rouge,
Stop. You're
their
speaking my
free
language.
dance. Oh my God, I've
Speak for
forgotten their
life.
names.
Kiss of Virtue and Scott Moore.
There we go,
Yeah.
Scott and Tessa. That has to be my all-time favorite, but it was that routine. Like I
That
loved
competition. Yeah.
that specific one.
Yeah.
They just skated and you knew it was their last one.
Yeah.
And it was just 10 out of 10. I'll be honest, like most of my memorable ones are ice dance.
Mm.
Also, like, I mean,
I mean, Bolero's got to be up there if you watched that as a kid.
Pavel and Dean, yeah,
Yeah.
obviously. They're like phenomenal skaters. And I'd say Jason Brown's River
Oh,
Dance,
that's
Skate
having a revival.
America. Yes. His original is still my favorite, just because he was young, he had the
Yeah.
ponytail, he was in green. And I think that was either US Nationals or Skate America 2011. It was a while back. That
Yeah.
would be like the most memorable in my mind. But most recently would have been, I loved Kevin Amos's take on Bolero. He just skated
Oh, yes,
Grand
this year.
Prix,
Yes, 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 yes.
French skater. Yeah. So he's definitely on my like watch list. He's a great
One
skater.
to what? One to
Hot to
watch. What
watch.
to
Yes.
watch. That's a very good list.
Yeah.
I agree with all of those. Fabulous.
Yeah.
Well, I think that pretty much brings us to the end of the episode. Is there anything else you would like to add? I know we've talked about a lot in the last hour and a
I would
bit.
like to do a little public service announcement
Go for
for
gold.
all skaters who are interested in skating synchro but are in any way, shape, or form scared or nervous or feel like it'll be too hard or too easy. I think you should absolutely try it so that we can push for synchro to get into the Olympics because I think it would change the game for skating. So if you want to do it, try it.
Give it a go. You
Give it a
heard it
go.
here. We hear it everywhere,
Yes.
but Vashti told you to do it, so you need to do it.
Please do it. I want to see it in the Olympics. I
Oh,
feel like the viewership would jump and then people would realize how much they've been missing out on.
they would. And we again have this conversation all the time, but it's just so pretty to watch. People don't know what they're missing out on.
You know, there's acrobatics, there's drama, there's lifts, there's unity. It's so cool.
It's amazing. I love that. Thank you for that. Anything
Welcome.
else? We're finished on that note. That's
No,
amazing.
thank you for having me.
No,
I've
that's
had so
okay.
much fun.
So yes, that I think brings us to the end of season 2, episode 3, The Legacy of Harlem Skating with Vashti Lonsdale. We are very lucky to have her today. I also don't think I mentioned at the start, I definitely didn't, now it's coming to me, that you've probably noticed that Afton's not here, it's just me. Um, Afton has a very cool big girl job and is currently in the middle of the ocean with no internet. So we planned a lot of episodes knowing that she was going to be away and some hoping that she would still be here or would be able to log on. But obviously she's not here today, so it was just me and so she's she's not going anywhere. She's still here for the rest of the season. It's just there might be one or two that's just me until she officially returns, but I can't believe I didn't even mention that at the start. I'm so sorry, Afton. She won't listen to this. She won't watch it back. Oh, she might actually to listen to you, Vashti, but she won't listen to me yapping on for a little while. But sorry, Afton. Should have said this at
You're
the
here in
start.
spirit.
Yeah, Vashti's here. She's great. She was in spirit. She was doing it for you. But yes, that brings us to the end of season 2, episode 3. Again, thank you so much. It's been absolutely lovely to have you. Do you want to do the outro with me? So
Sure.
so all that happens is I say thanks for watching, lots of love, and then you just say the Synchro Skaters Club.
Sure.
Okay. So this is it. Thanks for watching. Lots of love.
The Synchro Skaters Club.
Woohoo!
Oh,
Thank you
so
so much.
cringy.
No, that's fabulous. But again, thank you so much for coming on. This has been amazing to chat to you all about your own skating and Harlem skating and obviously the show and everything. So
Thank you. Thank you for
loved
the
it.
platform. We need more skating podcasts, so you're doing great.
Thank you. Alrighty. We will see you next week, guys. Thanks for listening.